What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. This episode is going to be somewhat side quest focused. That said, we are going to be starting on one of the most important side quests of the game that happens to be linked to multiple trophies or achievements. So if you're going for anything remotely resembling 100%, I highly suggest following these steps that we go through in this episode. Very important stuff, despite the fact that it is side quest related. Actually, I warped to the wrong grace. First things first, there's a Ash of War that I'm going to get here. The side quest stuff that we're going to be doing is all up here. At least that's where it starts. But for starters, we're going to go down here to the Carian Manor gate. And we're going to pick up this Ash of War. I could have got it last episode, but since last episode I wanted to be more story focused, I didn't want to start the episode by going off to the side and getting something that's not related to the manor itself. So where we're headed is this lake right here, or a little pond rather, and there is a scarab it's one of the ones that like you can't see, but you can only see its footprints, and you have to hit it at the right time. Yeah, it's one of those. I believe it's going to circle around here. And if we miss it here, we can get it over there. There we go. Got it. So we get the Hoarfrost Stomp, Ash of War. So we already actually, we have a weapon that has Hoarfrost Stomp initially. And that is the Ice Rind Hatchet. But now we can equip it to any weapon, or at least any weapon that's compatible with this particular Ash of War. Very powerful still. It got nerfed in the last patch. People were abusing it big time in PvP and even just in single player. It was way too powerful, honestly. And didn't cost very much HP, had a huge AoE, did frost build up. I mean, it was the whole 9 yards. It was way too powerful. So we're going to follow this main path, what we did. Well, as soon as I can pull up my map, I'm going to show you where we're going. There's another scarab over here that's going to give us a spell. Speaking of Blizzard, we got the Frozen Armament. So this allows you to enchant your... It's a spell that allows you to enchant your weapon with freeze. So as soon as we rest here, I'm going to pull up my map and show you where we're at. So just now we exited. This is where we fought the boss. We exited and went kind of around up top over here. This is where we got the spell. And over here, we're going to pick up some stuff roughly around this area. And there's going to be kind of a mini boss in this area. And then there's an Evergaol over here. So we're going to hit those three up. Then after that, it is going to be side quest time. We are going to be hitting up one of the most important side quests in this game. If not the most important side quest. You're going to get... It's tied to a legendary armament. It's tied to a hidden ending that has a trophy related to it. I think it's tied to some secret bosses. Like, you name it. This is one of the most important side quests, and it is one of the. It's probably the most complicated side quest, just in terms of the number of steps and what you have to do to fulfill it. But we're by no means going to go through the entire thing, in this episode. But we are definitely going to get the ball rolling. So if you go down to this kind of edge of the plateau that we're on, you're going to see some of these albinuric enemies, and they like to do cartwheels. So here we got the albinuric ashes, and over here, this is the solution to one of our paintings. So this painting that we picked up, Resurrection, this is the solution to it right here. So you pick this up, you get the Juvenile Scholar Cap, Scholar Robe, and a Larval Tear. So that's our reward for that particular painting. Next, we're going to head down here. Arteria Leaf. There may be a couple other smaller pickups around here, but we got the ashes. We got the painting reward. That's mainly what we came here for. And then down here, there's another red wolf enemy, similar to the one that we fought in the Rhea Lucaria Academy. If you kind of sneak around here to the side, you see there's a few smaller wolves kind of surrounding it. I'm going to get off a few mighty shots here. See if I can take these things out before taking on the main attraction. Yeah, this one's close enough to the main Red Wolf that it kind of gets the Red Wolf's attention a little bit, but not entirely. Is he going to come over here? If we're going to fight him, I'd rather fight him away from his buddies. Does he notice us? Not quite. Yeah, got one of them. That third one just lying on the ground there. Okay, he noticed us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my flask and summon. Largely the same moves as the other one we've already fought. Let me summon, please. No, I need to summon while I have this potion active. There we go. There we go. All right. So this one is, you know, we're stronger than we were when we fought the first one. However, this one is maybe a little bit more challenging than the first one because the first one we fought in a relatively confined space. This one runs around all over the place and is much harder to lock down to get hits. He summons the swords and has that like comet attack as well. That comet attack is, I think, unique to this one. I don't think the one in the academy had that attack. But since it's focusing on Lutel right now, that's actually helping me. There we go. Got it. Really all that it's guarding is like a Golden Rune 3. Pretty weak, in my opinion, but, you know, it's there. So up here we have the Evergaol. I'll top off my FP just for good measure. And this is not a tough enemy. It's another one of the Onyx enemies. We fought one in a cave an episode or two ago. Yeah. These things stagger super easy. Like, you can interrupt their attacks like nothing. Even with your R1s, you can interrupt their attacks. Then you get a... I mean, I just R1 spammed him there and basically got a stun, so... Charged R2. Keep it going. Got the bleed. Super easy. Get the Meteorite spell for our trouble. And that's really the gist of what we came out here for on this side of the plateau. So the other side of the plateau is where all the side quests are handled. So I'm going to warp back over here. And before we start the side quests proper, there's a friend we have to take care of. So that's gonna be priority 1, is our friend here. So over this way, you see there's a giant glintstone dragon. I'm gonna pop my flask, summon Lutel to help us. And again, you can fight this on or off horse. This one, the wings are on the ground, unlike the other one we fought, so you can get a lot of free hits just from the wings. When it flies up like that, it's gonna be a fire attack most likely. The one where he blows at an angle, just run to the left, same as the other dragons we fought. This is actually gonna be another one that teleports as soon as we do a certain amount of damage to it. Once we get it to about half health, it's gonna teleport away to another location. So you can, as I showed, if you're gonna fight it on your horse, I suggest kind of hitting the wings a bit. Off the horse, you can get headshots. For that attack, you're going to want to run back because he blows the fire on the ground. I didn't get back quickly enough, but that's okay. I'm going to heal up right here. And oftentimes he follows that attack up with a straightforward flame attack, but he did not do that there. This is one of his special attacks. He hits you with that massive sword and causes frostbite. But his head was close to the ground, so I was going to try to hit his head, but... And on foot, I like to go for headshots if possible, but we got enough damage on him, so he's gonna fly away, and he's gonna come back later. So that just is what it is. So around here we've got an Ash of War. We're gonna hit up this. We can't really do anything with that right now. Let's take away this beacon. We've done what we need to do there. There's a secret we need here. And then this is where we start off a very large quest line in this game. So really up here, there's not much in the way of enemies. I hear the twinkling. There it is. I'm trying to get away. Ash of War, Chilling Mist. Again, this is where the section of the map that I got that on. So up here, I'm just showing this to you. We can't really do anything with it yet. But this is Renna's Rise. We can't do anything with that yet. So down here's our next spot. And there's not much here except for something that's going to help progress one of the quest lines ahead of time. We're kind of doing it proactively. If you go up here, it's kind of hard to find. Let's see. Yeah, see where this enemy is? Just go ahead and get rid of him. But that enemy, he's right near an illusory floor. So you come up here, you look for that enemy, and it's going to reveal an illusory floor if you hit the ground. So this is not going to make much sense to us now, but it'll have a purpose later. Make sure you read this note on the ground. Seluvis's puppet, do not touch. Just make sure you read that note. Then right here is an illusory wall. And we have a puppet. This is actually a puppet of Sellen, which is going to come into her quest line later. But that's all that we have to do now is you have to get down here. You have to read that note, and that's going to help advance a quest line in just a bit. Okay, so next what we got to do is make our way over here. I've already got this. I can take this marker off. And we are about to talk to Ranni. And her side quest is the one that I've been talking about as one of the most important side quests in the game. Now, you don't need to do this to beat the game. But as I said, if you're going for anything remotely approaching 100%, you're going to have to do this side quest. This side quest has a lot of steps that has a pretty sizable impact throughout the game. It'll afford you access to certain areas. It'll get you a legendary armament. It'll give you access to an ending that's required for a trophy. So very important to do this if you're going for all achievements, that kind of stuff. Just want to make sure that I stress that. So step one, we got to go up in here and talk to her.
Oh, again we cross paths. I believe I said my name was Ranni when last we met. It pleaseth me to see Torrent hale and hearty, but tarnished. What business hast thou here? I have no memory of inking thee an invitation.
Okay, must be Ranni the Witch behind the Knight of the Black Knives.
I see. Quite the sleuth, aren't we? Indeed, I am the witch, Ranni. I stole a fragment of the Rune of Death and used it to forge the god-slaying black knives through fearsome rite. I did it all. But sadly for thee, the curse mark thou seekest is not to be found here. I have slain the body I was born into and cast it away, and it is upon that flesh the curse mark is carved. And why should I reveal that to thee? I performed the act not to bury the past, nor in shame of the deed, but all the same, thy begging compels me not a jot. The curse mark thou seekest is not now.
Okay, so she kind of sent us away. So if you've progressed to a certain point in the game, she's going to let you go on and join her. For us, in order to join her, we have to talk. We first have to go back to Round Table Hold. And we're going to have a conversation here with our friend Seluvis. No, this isn't Seluvis. What's his name? Rogier. Yeah, Seluvis. We're about to talk to Seluvis in just a little bit, but Rogier. So now In order to progress Ranni's quest line, we have to talk to him.
I see. When Ranni shed her flesh, she shed the curse mark too. You know, not everyone would trust such a tale. But if she in her current form is nothing more than the living doll you profess, then perhaps it's true after all. Forgive the bluntness of the notion, but how would you like to become one of Ranni's vassals? Only in order to get what we want, of course. The location of the body which bore the curse mark, which right now I haven't the faintest. And the best way to find out is for you to enter her service and take a poke around on the sly. I know you've got what it takes. Not only are you a superb fighter, but people want to trust you. I've seen it. Can you become Ranni's vassal to advance our agenda? While in her service, you'll be able to take a poke around on the sly and determine the location of her original body that bears the curse mark. I realize that I'm asking you to put yourself in grave danger, but I know you've got what it takes. Quite possibly the only one, in fact.
Okay, so now that we can talk, we've talked to Rogier, we can now enter into Ranni's service when we go back and talk to her. So she mentioned that she stole part of the Rune of Death. So just keep that in the back of your mind. That's something that's kind of important to her character. That's not going to make a whole lot of sense until much later in the game, but just a little tidbit. So now we're going to go back up, talk to her. And if you've, as I said, if you've progressed the game far enough already, she will just let you go on and enter her service. You don't have to talk to Rogier there. But at this point, we did have to talk to him just to trigger her next step.
The curse mark, those now.
So now we can say, I wish to serve you.
Oh, is that so? Thou wouldst render me aid. Is that thy proposal? Affording thyself opportunity to grope about for the curse mark's location, no doubt. Very well. There's nothing wrong with a well-laid scheme. What's more, if my past and past wounds beckon to thee, I am curious enough to see what thy destiny portends. I'll allow it. Enter my service, and good hunting to thee.
And make sure you talk to her, exhaust her dialogue.
Good. Then I ask we proceed with haste. There is, in my service, a half-wolven warrior by the name of Blythe. I would have thee join him in searching for the hidden treasure of Nokron, the Eternal City. I have called for Blythe to greet thee below. Take from him the particulars. And there wilt thou find Iji, my war counselor, and Seluvis, preceptor in the sorcerous arts also. Heed not their peculiarities. Feel secure in gaining from them what advantage thou canst. I am sure the others will be doing just the same.
Okay.
Speak with the three who thou needst not. It hath been
Okay, so we need to speak with the people below. And right now you see we can't warp out of here. We can't leave this spot. So we have to talk to these three folks that you just mentioned. A couple of them we've already met. We've already met E.G. We've already met Blythe. Only one we haven't met yet is Seluvis.
Oh, so you were the one. Lady Ranni has explained everything. Again, I am Iji, the Carian royal family's dedicated blacksmith and Lady Ranni's war counselor. I'm told that you are searching for Nokron with Blythe. I will give you whatever guidance I can, and pray for your success. My apologies for the misleading words of warning. I never imagined that an audience, let alone service to Lady Ranni, was in your fate. I, for one, should have seen it, but I did not. Do forgive me, my fellow. Let us give all that we can of ourselves, together, for Lady Ranni. Let us give all together.
Okay, so that's it for him. Got to go down and talk to the other two that she mentioned. There's Blythe.
Long time, friend. Blythe. Have you forgotten? Glad to have you in the service of Mistress Ranni. Well, getting right to business. I'm still in Limgrave. The eternal city of Nokron lies somewhere at the bottom of this land. I'm planning to go below through the well in the Mistwood. See if I can't find the road to Nokron from there. I'm going below to see if I can.
Okay, so he's going below into the well, so we're going to have to meet up with him there in just a minute.
I see. You must be Ranni's new hireling. Yes, I've heard all about you. I am Seluvis, preceptor in the sorcerous arts. I don't know what it is the mistress sees in a provincial tarnished like you, but since we have the misfortune of serving the same lady, I ask that you kindly try not to drag us all down with you. I reside in another tower close by. Come and pay me a visit. Should you wish to be of actual service to Mistress Ranni. If it were up to me, I wouldn't waste my time on the likes of you. But who am I to stand against the wishes of my lady?
Okay, so this is a sketchy fellow, but we are going to talk to him as well. He lives right here, but we're not going to talk to him yet until we go talk to Blythe down in the well depths. So we're going to move forward. We talked to all three people. We got to go back up and talk to Ranni, and then she will tell us to move along.
Allow me to forewarn thee. I shall soon enter my slumber, and it will be some time before I wake. This doll's body is not without its hindrances. Still, I have high hopes for thee. I look forward to the good news when I arise. I shall soon, and it will be. I have high look.
Okay, so we can warp now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go talk to Blythe down here. So I suggest warping here to the Siofra River bank, and then we're going to talk to him like right here. He's going to be down there trying to figure out how to get to Nokron. Just be mindful of these guys that are spawning. They're going to try to interrupt our conversation. So I'm going to try to kind of hide here till they see they're coming for me. They're going to interrupt my conversation. So let's wait for them to either de-aggro or come over here, and I'm just going to fight them. Yep. Okay. Well, fight it is then. All right, there's Blythe.
Ah, good to see you. Apologies, mate, but I don't have much to report. I can see bloody Nokron right above me, but I'm absolutely stumped. I've tried all the gateways, to no avail. Perhaps it's time to ask Seluvis. I recall that spiteful little rat acting like he knew something. Let's give him a squeeze. Show him just how sharp my teeth are. I jest. Besides, I should check on some things here. Leave this place to me. If either of us learns anything, we tell the other. Right?
Okay, so now we got to go talk to Seluvis. So we're going to go back up here. And it is time for us to make our way to Seluvis. He is a cheeky fellow. A little bit shady, if you couldn't tell from our brief interaction with him. Just going to mark it on the map so you know where we're going. All right, here's Seluvis's rise.
Well, you took me at my word. Did you not realize I was merely being polite? Oh, you provincials never cease to amaze. I suppose you're here now. Perhaps I'll give you something to do. I'd like you to find a woman called Nepheli to administer a potion. Even you can do that much, can't you? Good, good. Now I shall hand over the potion in question.
Okay, we got Seluvis's potion, or Seluvis's potion. He wants us to give it to Nepheli. You can go multiple paths here. If you give it to Nepheli, it basically ends her quest line. She enters into like a slumber, and then she turns into something that you can acquire as a. Basically, you can acquire her as a spirit summon that Seluvis makes for you. And I don't recommend going down that route. That's kind of her bad ending to her side quest, I would say. That's not the proper ending to her side quest. In this playthrough, we're going to get her proper ending, so I'll show you what to do. But just a little note for something we're going to do in a minute or two.
Find Nepheli and ensure I expect glad tidings, and soon. I've no time. The only thing I will hear from you is are we under? I have a.
So we can ask him about Nokron right now.
Well. You're asking me about that, are you? The task was left to you and the mongrel, was it not? Not only are you incompetent, but shameless to boot. Well, there's no helping it. Now's as good a time as any. I'll let you in on it. There's a glintstone sorcerer by the name of Sellen in Limgrave. She owes me for the help I gave her when she was expelled from the academy. I asked her to look into the matter some time ago. I'll write you a letter of introduction. Go ask her.
Okay, so we have that. So we can go back and talk to Sellen, and she'll help us.
I've no time. The only thing I have enough.
Okay, so what we need to do now is we can climb up here. There's a memory stone at the top of this tower. So after this, we're going to warp back to Round Table Hold. I'm going to show you what to do with that potion that he gave us. Because the only way to advance a side quest is to give it to somebody. If you give it to Nepheli, she's basically going to be out for the rest of the game, and you can acquire her more or less as a summon ash. As I said, that's kind of more the bad ending of her quest line. But you can do something else with the potion that convinces Seluvis that you gave it to her, even though you really didn't. So what you can do instead is you can give it to Gideon, and he's just going to dispose of it. But Seluvis is going to be none the wiser.
Journey to the capital. The two things you maybe.
So we can give him we can show him the potion.
What I think it is. Bloody Seluvis. I suppose he's up to something again. Oh, I won't interfere. You go ahead and do what you must. The Round Table has no code to speak of. But I ask you this. Are you really going to do the bidding of that twisted dolly botherer? Or would you rather hand that potion to me and see if we can't get one over on the bastard?
So we're going to hand it to Sir Gideon Ofnir.
Good. I'll dispose of the potion myself. You go and see Seluvis, but don't give anything away. Just tell him that you tricked your mark into drinking the potion, as planned. Despite knowing next to bloody nothing, he's so far up his own arse he won't suspect a thing. His inevitable display of arrogance will certainly be a sight to behold.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go down and talk to Nepheli, because we got something that we do need to give her to advance her real quest line, and we're going to give it to her. It's the Stormhawk King, by the way, is what we're giving her. We got the Stormhawk King by visiting here. This is the area where you start the game. And we got back there by going to the 4 belfries. We warped it I think it was this belfry. This belfry takes you back here. You get the Stormhawk King here. We're about to give it to her. And this will advance her proper quest line.
No. How could I say that? Father has always given, and now...
So we can give her the Stormhawk King.
Ash? I can smell the ancient storm in it. My thanks. I'll gladly take it.
All right.
I don't feel the presence of spirits, let alone see them. Still, this ash, it reminds me of my first hawk. Thank you. In this ash, I can smell the ancient storm. It reminds me of my...
Okay. So she's not actually going to move until after we beat the capital dungeon, which is the big dungeon that's on the eastern side of the Altus Plateau, which we are going to do later. So Seluvis told us to go talk to Sellen. So that is our next stop. So we're going to talk to her. She's still over here at the same spot at the Waypoint Ruins. So we're going to go over there and have a chat real quick.
Young apprentice, you are a tad so now.
Okay, so we can show her the letter of introduction.
Seluvis is not a name I ever wanted to hear again, but fine. If it will help you, my apprentice, I offer my knowledge. The stars alter the fate of the Carian royal family, and the fate of your mistress, Ranni. But long ago, General Radahn challenged the swirling constellations, and in a crushing victory arrested their cycles. Now he is the force that repulses the stars. If General Radahn were to die, the stars would resume their movement, and so too would Ranni's destiny.
Okay, so General Radahn. He is the main boss that we're going to fight over here in Caelid when we finally get down there. We could go fight him now if we wanted to, but I'm saving Caelid for later. So General Radahn is lord over the stars. Basically, he controls them right now. And as Sellen just alluded to, if he were to die, then the stars would resume their movement, and it would lead us to the next step on the path of Ranni's quest. So we're going to unlock that, you know, as soon as we do Caelid, which is going to be a bit later on in the game, at least in the order that I'm doing things here. So we can do now, I'm actually going to make a quick detour to the Church of Vows because I have a scroll that will unlock some new spells. Actually, I got this scroll way back when we did the Academy of Rea Lucaria. I just never gave the scroll to anybody, so I'm gonna go on and give it to this guy. This is the guy that I give all my scrolls to.
Greetings.
Give him the scroll.
Oh, what have we? Very well. Heresy is not nature. All thing.
So, one thing we can get now is Glintstone Comet Shard. Very good spell, especially in the latest patch when they beefed up some of the sorceries. This is a very good one to have in your arsenal if you are a sorcerer. Let's see. So we're going to warp back to here and talk to Blide and let him know what we found out. Same as before, you know, we're going to have some of those ancestral spirit people coming after us when we're trying to talk, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm try to take this side path. Hopefully that'll allow me to be a little bit more stealthy. Nope, not really. Yeah, they're still coming after me here. I'm just gonna go up and kill him now. Like, get it over with. I don't need to wait on him. That's what you get for being annoying. Okay.
Ah, well met. What news? So Ranni's fate is kept in stasis by Starscourge Radahn. That reminds me of something I heard. There's a festival being held at the castle on the southern edge of the Caelid Wilds, east of Limgrave. It's a festival of combat. And I heard that you can fight Radahn himself. He who's once called the strongest of all the demigods. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I think it's worth investigating. I'll be on my way to this festival of Radahn then. You're coming too, right? To Radahn's festivities. I'll meet you at Redmane Castle in Caelid. The way ahead is pleasingly simple. We fight, sword and fang.
Okay, so he's headed to the festival, which is where we're going to fight Radahn at later on in the game. And that is actually going to be the event that progresses, even though, I mean, that's technically part of the main story per se. That's actually going to be an event that triggers the next step in Ranni's questline. So Ranni's questline is going to be kind of on hold until we do this down here, this festival that Blythe was just referring to. What we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Selvius because, or I keep on calling him Selvius, like Severus Snape Selvius. He kind of has that same kind of dark, you know, aura about him. But Seluvis is his name. I keep on calling the wrong thing. Anyway, so since we gave the potion not to Nepheli, as he wanted us to, but we gave it to someone and we can convince him that we did give it to Nepheli, we're going to advance his quest line.
So you made Nepheli drink the potion. Well done. You are a touch more useful than I had thought. Very well. Then you shall have your gift. Knowledge of the sorcerous arts under the tutelage of the great preceptor Seluvis. I doubt much of it will lay within the grasp of a mere tarnished, but if you put your mind to it, perhaps you won't embarrass Our Lady. You wish to begin right this moment? Well, your impatience, though boorish, is understandable. Let's have at it.
Okay, so we can talk to him. We can study sorcery. He's got some spells here. We can purchase.
So, you had Nepheli drink the potion? Truly? Then perhaps something was amiss with it. It's concocted from the finest ingredients, but perhaps I should review the recipe. I may have expected too much of her to begin with.
So we can ask him about his chambers. So his chambers, remember we found that illusory floor that had like the puppets underneath it, and I said, read that note. So now we can ask him, we're kind of confronting him about it.
You break into a man's private chambers, rooting about as you please. Your offishness knows no bounds. Fine and well. You tricked Nepheli and had her drink the potion. I believe that makes you my accomplice. You yearn for a puppet of your own, Well, normally one of your stature would never be allowed. But perhaps I can make a very special exception. Now, choose.
Okay, so we can choose one of his puppets. So you can pick one or the other. I suggest picking the Jawright puppet because in order to advance his quest line, you have to purchase both puppets and you have to purchase all of his spells. And these puppets, I mentioned at the very beginning of the game that eventually we're going to get to a spot where there's a merchant that sells stuff that costs starlight shards. Well, this one does not cost us any starlight shards. This one's a freebie. However, if you want to purchase the other one, these cost starlight shards to purchase. So this one is actually 3 and this one's 2. So for the freebie, we're going to get the one that costs 3 starlight shards, and then we'll purchase the one that costs 2 instead of vice versa. So now we can study sorcery. We got to pick up all of his sorceries to advance his quest line. So we gotta pop quite a few runes here to do that. And really, the rewards for his quest line aren't that great. I'm just kind of showing you how to go through it. And again, if you give the potion to Nepheli, then you can purchase her. At some point, you can purchase her as a puppet that you can summon. Let's see. I'm going to need a bunch. I'm just going to go ahead and use this hero's rune. Don't think that's enough, but I'm going to see what I have here. Yeah, I still need 75 plus 6,000. So that's 13,500. I need a little bit more than 10,000 more. I'm just guessing. Okay, that works.
Begging for begging for another.
Okay, so I believe what the trigger is we have to go back here and rest and then come back and talk to him again. Oops, meant to light my lantern, not dismount. There we go.
Begging for another.
Okay, he won't, I think we gotta actually, yeah, we gotta go back down into his lair. So his lair, again, is kind of in this area. There's really nothing else down here for us to look at, but I think you have to go down here to like trigger the next step in his dialogue. So again, he's got all these puppets down here. I don't know if he has a new one in here or not. I don't think he can interact with any of these either. Talk to or investigate the thing. There's Sellen. Now we're going to warp back here. And this should trigger the next step into his dialogue. If not, we're just going to have to come back later.
Begging for another the remains.
Okay, so yeah, now we can say I want a new puppet.
What's that? You want another puppet? Quite the keen paramour, aren't we? But I'm afraid each and every one is like a child to me. I can hardly just give them away. Oh dear, what's to be done? Why don't you fetch me some starlight shards? If you can manage it, I'll gladly prepare a new puppet for you. The soul of every puppet has its own ambience. You'll soon come to know once you possess a few. And once each's predilections are known to you, the better you'll be able to love them. Oh yes, you have much to look forward to further down this road.
Okay, so now we can obtain a puppet. We get the other one. So you see, this one costs 3 starlight shards, which I suggest getting that one for free. This one's only 2, so now we don't have to spend 2 to get this puppet. Finger Maiden, Theralina.
You're proving to be quite the puppeteer. I've not had an apprentice for a very long time indeed. Begging for another.
So now we can ask him about the scheme.
Perhaps you'd be interested in a little scheme of mine. It will produce the finest of puppets, which I aspire to cherish with these very hands. A ploy to fool even Lady Ranni. How does that sound?
So sounds sketchy, but we can say that I'm interested.
I knew I had you pegged. You're just like me. Then I'd like you to procure something. A rather unique starlight shard that glistens with amber. With that, my special draft will gleam with nectar sweetness. And even a demigod would be slave to its charms.
Okay, so what he's asking for is the amber starlight, which we already have. We got that right here on the map. This is where what he's asking for was. So we already picked it up, so we can go on and give it to him.
Well, you managed to lay your hands on it. The blessed day is finally upon us. Goodness gracious, the way it glistens. Utterly enchanting. To think this was once a demigod's very fate. My, oh my, oh my. Yes, I should give you your reward. Yeah, please. It's all yours. It's splendid work. It's just marvelous.
All right, magic scorpion charm.
Just you wait. The scheme.
So if you leave and come back, like you rest and come back, he'll give you a potion. Before we talk about that, just going to show you what he gave us. Magic scorpion charm raises magic attack but lowers damage negation. So we're back to round table hold. But if we reload the area, come back to him, he's going to give us a potion. That potion we could give to Ranni. And his goal is to turn Ranni into one of his puppets. But that's not actually what ends up happening. All that happens is she wakes up and she's mad at you for trying to betray her. And then that halts her quest line, but not permanently. Even if you were to do that step, if you're to get the potion from him and give it to her, all you have to do to continue on with her quest line is you'd have to go to the Church of Vows, offer a celestial due to atone for your sins, and then she will be back on her normal path, and you can carry on her quest line as if nothing happened. Really, the rewards for doing that are not all that great, so I'm not even going to do that part of Seluvis' quest line. As far as I'm concerned, his quest line is done. We got that talisman from him. I bought all of his spells. I got the 2 puppets that he has for sale now. I'm not going to give, I didn't give Nepheli the potion. You can also give the potion to the Dung Eater, and the Dung Eater will become one of his puppets. But I don't want to interfere with his quest line either. So as far as my playthrough is concerned, Seluvis' quest line is over. But I just wanted to explain that to you guys just so you know what's going on. We got Ranni's quest line well underway, and we're going to be doing some good stuff with that after we get through Caelid. We're going to carry on with her quest line and take that all the way through to the end. So anyways, important stuff in terms of those of you who want to get everything in this game, who want to get access to all the endings, all the achievements, and all that. You're going to have to do Ranni's quest line. I can't emphasize that enough. So we got a good start on that in this episode, and that's mainly what I wanted to accomplish. So in the next episode, we are going to head back up to the Altus Plateau, and we're going to actually make a big loop around Mount Gelmir. We're going to start that loop at the very least. We may not get all the way through it, but I'll explain that in more detail next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you all next time.